from Scott McDonald at SMcD Wrestling on Twitter. He asked, how do you see 2022 going for DDM after the recent changes within the faction? Shuri is champion instead of the leader, and they've added 2 new members. Will anyone suffer from it, or do you see someone like Natsupoi or Micah becoming more prominent single star? DDM's an interesting look, and I was going to talk about this, with the Thekla and MIRAI editions earlier, but once I got this question, it really gave me a shot to, kind of break it all down. So, thinking about this, adding Thekla and MIRAI is very, very interesting because both of them feel like stars, at least at one point. I think Thekla is more instant, and I think MIRAI is more of a long-term building, but they're both very important, I think, to the future of Stardom. But DDM was already filled with 5 very important stars. Like Scott noted. You got Natsupoi and Micah, and then you got Himeka and Julia and Shuri. I don't think anyone suffers. If anyone suffers, it will be Natsupoi, I think. Unfortunate. But she has her high-speed game that she'll never really be hurt. Who becomes a more prominent single star? I think Himeka does, actually, this year. I think she has a real shot. She's been someone that they've wanted to build before. She was in the 5-Star Grand Prix finals 2 years ago. It's not crazy to think that this could be her year to really grow. I think that's possible. I think it should happen. I think she's been waiting. She's better now. I think Micah's already at a prominent single star point. I think she's already reached that realm, per se, because she's already so great. I think it's time Himeka climbs up the card a little bit. And, of course, you have them as a trio, as the tag team champions. Really, I think anyone that's going to, become prominent very quickly is Thekla. We saw it on day 1, and I really think she's going to grow. But to answer your question, does anyone suffer? No, I do see a potential split in DDM somewhere down the line. Of course, there's got to be a little more time in between a potential split because we just got these new members back. But I do think that there is potential for a split, and you might ask, where did each member go? How does that shift? I mean, Julia, MIRAI, and Thekla seem like a lock to be together, and I feel like if you're thinking or even considering breaking DDM up in any way, it's to make Himeka a number 2 in a group and make Micah a number 2, because it's a shame that they have to be 3 and 4 in a group because they have reached that point where they're supposed to be more prominent, yet that's just not. It's hard to get out of the shadow of the World of Stardom champion and Julia. It's very hard. So if Julia and Shuri got it to odds and they were to split each other up, Julia, Thekla, MIRAI, and Himeka sounds pretty great. And then you could always add someone to Shuri, Micah, and Natsupoi if you wanted to. But you never really know. I do think there's a potential break, but I don't think anyone will suffer too much. If anyone does, it will be Natsupoi. And I think MIRAI can't suffer. I think she's, she's the low end of the stick right now. And on purpose, she's still very new to wrestling. I mean, she's only a couple years in. I think she's going to get built up, and in time, she's going to be very good for them. So hopefully that answers all of your question. Moving on into our questions. At Strong Stylish PW asks, with Miyu versus Shoko Nakajima booked for Grand Princess, Where does Rika Tatsumi slot in? As she never got her rematch, and it seems Miyu is going through the 4 pillars. I think Rika Tatsumi's in a very interesting spot, and I think her tag team with Miyu Watanabe has a lot to do with her future, personally, because I think those two are really the two that are kind of, where do they slot in, you're asking yourself. Miyu Watanabe would have been a great international princess champion. Maybe she beats Maki Ito down the line, but that's not happening right now. I think putting Rika with Miyu and giving them the tag titles would be great. I really do. I think having them beat the Magical Sugar Rabbits would be ideal for both of them, because Rika Tatsumi's great. And Miyu Watanabe is getting to the point of greatness. She's learning, but she's very good. And I think that's where Tatsumi can go right now. You have her win the Max Heart. You have that title match, Yuka Sakazaki and Mizuki versus Rika Tatsumi and Miyu Watanabe. And then you have 3 big matches. So you have that one, Maki Ito's defense, and of course Miyu versus Shoko. I think that's a good way to go with it. Darren Wadsworth at Dazzle Loves Movie asked, do you think the Stardom drafts are a thing of the past? I do, at least for right now. Maybe it's considerable in a year or a year and a half, but right now there's so much movement. There's so much common movement in the promotion that it's really difficult to imagine, anything happening draft-like. You don't want to do a major shakeup. You don't want to do that because you already have all these shakeups. And I think natural movement is easier to get away with. I don't want you to, go all Dragon Gate on us and move it every few months, but at the same time, I think natural movement is important. And I think it's kept Stardom fresh to a point where they are succeeding. We just watched Momo change. We watched DDM grab 2 more. We watched Oedo Tai really have a lot of movement this year, and Stars. So right now, with all the free agents coming in and whatnot, there's no draft coming, but, I will say, I don't think they're a thing of the past. I think that could come back somewhere down the line, but very less likely, though, because I think Stardom's going more for an angle of, like a New Japan, where New Japan has Chaos, Bullet Club, LIJ, Suzuki-gun, and the United Empire, and they don't move. They're the same groups. People will change groups once in a while. I think that's where they're going. So you think about the Stardom draft, it's very unlikely they go a full reset like that ever again. But I definitely think it's not totally out of the question, because Stardom's still Stardom at the, core. But it's very unlikely that we'll be seeing one in a while, at least. With Konami leaving the scene for a while, what would you say is your favorite Konami match? This was asked by at the 94th Min 94 TH Min. What is my favorite Konami match? I like a lot of Konami matches. Konami's title challenge against Arisa Hashiki, I love. Konami versus Hana Kimura in the 5-star finals in 2019 is another match I really love of hers. And then the one with Julia and her last match, I think that's going to have a special place in my heart as a fan forever. Not only was she great in it, but just what they were able to do. But yeah, those are probably my 3. I don't know if I have an exact one, but those are definitely my 3 that I really adore in terms of singles Konami matches. I know you didn't ask for singles, but that's usually what I go to for singles wrestlers. I give my favorite singles matches.